Hey everybody, welcome to another review. Today I'm going to be reviewing the brand new album by the DJENT metalcore band ERRA with their new record Silence Outlives the Earth. So it's quite a different concept for ERRA now. They normally do the one album title gimmick, and Silence Outlives the Earth kind of goes against that. So this is the band's first album in under 2 years actually. Cure came out April 2024, and as much as that one was a good listen, it was a more divisive release upon ERRA's fanbase, as this album kind of had essences of their great potential, while also struggling to embrace the kind of highs that previous records have, and especially coming after the previous album self-titled, it pretty much had a high bar it had to clear, and while it was a decent listen, I gave it a 3.5 out of 5, it still isn't as solid as some of the previous stuff, but it's definitely up there for me as another good ERRA record. Now, Silence Outlives the Earth actually, in my opinion, is a more enjoyable experience. It feels more like the ERRA that I quite enjoy, and it kind of takes essences of previous releases and compiles it into this record. Starting off with Stellar Form, I think they do a pretty good job blending the kind of melodic chorus structure that this band often dabbles with. Now Jesse Cash is feeling more prominent and confident to take this step up as the clean vocalist. Not saying he hasn't, but he's definitely getting more time to shine in the spotlight than usual. I mean, he had moments like Blue Reverie on the previous record, but this record's definitely given him more Jesse, which I think actually is a pretty nice mixture to balance it out with the cleans and uncleans of the record. Stellar Form, I can't say it, it has some pretty good instrumentation, and I think the heavy to soft energy of this track is generally really good. It's definitely one that pulls me in straight away, and it hooks me a lot stronger than Cure, the opening and lead single of Cure. So I feel like this is definitely a better step in the right direction for opening the track. Now, Further Eden is probably my least favourite of the four singles. It's not the best ERRA album song, but it's still a pretty good one. I think it definitely kind of collects the overall feel that the album has. It definitely feels like what you can expect for the record, and it just fits in terms of the narrative as well as the sound. So Further Eden, it doesn't really do too much to expand upon ERRA's dynamic songwriting, but it definitely still feels like it belongs on the record as a nice, good listen. It's nothing crazy, but it's still a pretty good song that I think is worth the listen. Gora Being, I think, is the stronger one. This was the lead single, and my god, it's definitely a good change of pace. As much as I thought Cure was a pretty decently good song, Gora Being does the lead single better than that. I just feel like this one had a lot more ambition and creativity, and plays into the gent heavy feel while incorporating the highs of something like self-titled, to even something like Drift, which I think is also quite a really good release of theirs. But Gora Being is pretty solid as well. Black Cloud is Jesse Cash written all over it. This one kind of doesn't really have any screaming at all, and it lets Jesse shine throughout the entire track, from the melodies to in the chorus to the verses to the instrumentation, just giving it this loud feel. I feel like while bands will kind of take this safe route for more of this clean sound, especially more of a mainstream appeal, I feel like ERRA don't lose their self with this one. It still feels like ERRA. It doesn't feel like the band is straying into a kind of more generic mainstream feel. I feel like this is generally suited better for their taste, and Black Cloud, in my opinion, is probably one of the most ambitious and just damn good tracks of this record. One of my personal favourites straight from the bat of listening to it. Cicada Siren is another really good one as well. I think that this one hooks you in if you're looking for kind of a bit more of the louder, heavier sound. It has got some very hard-hitting riffs. It just chugs some good gent, and yeah, I feel like this one is just kind of your standard heavy, fun ERRA song. Nothing insane, but it's still a very good fit for the record, and one that I still think is pretty sick. Echo Sonata was the second single of the album, and my god, I love this one so much. I think it tops Gora Being just because it does the it does the Jesse Cash chorus so goddamn well. The instrumentation, the build up, the flow of everything is just insane. I love the riffs, love the melody, the drumming, everything about this track is just sick. Echo Sonata is one of the ERRA's strongest songs in a very long time. It is generally one of the best and most intriguing tracks I've heard for a while. Echo Sonata just hooks with me since I've listened to it, and I was generally excited if this was going to be deluxe stuff or if this was going to be a new record, but considering the fact I think Echo Sonata arguably tops everything off the previous album, I was hoping it would be a new record, and, you know, I'm glad it was. Lucid Threshold, this one is pretty good. I feel like Lucid Threshold is kind of one of the more standard tracks. I like what it offers, and it has got some very good uncleans, clean dynamic, but I feel like this one isn't one of the more standard tracks. It's kind of one of the ones I think is good, but others precede it just for having a bit more power into it. Just kind of these tracks stand out more, and some of the other tracks stand out for having a little less to it. But Lucid Threshold, not even crapping on it. Like all 7 songs I've talked about so far are pretty damn good and pretty good addition to the record. Another good track. Spiral of a Liminal Affinity. I love the instrumentation on this one. It's a little weird for ERRA, but it feels like it fits in, and I love the way that they pop out the heaviness into this one from this kind of nice ethereal way. And I feel like a lot of the tracks have this kind of mysterious atmosphere to it, and I love the aesthetic it goes for. Some tracks kind of incorporate these electronic components to kind of give it a bit more of this spacious and I guess sciencey sort of sound in some way. It's a small threshold of it, but I honestly think it's really cool as well. It's part of Liminal Affinity, pretty good solid song. Then we had the last single, I, Then Many Names of God, a 3-part to this one, which is pretty much named in set of 3. The Many Names of God, probably the best of the 3. This was a really good single. It kind of reminds me of Crawl Backwards Out of Heaven. I think Crawl Backwards Out of Heaven kind of popped out to me a bit more because it's a major standout from the Cure record, but this track is just really good. It just falls in. It's just heavy, menacing ERRA that I really enjoy. It just does everything right, and I can even picture this type of stuff on Self-Titled. It is just sick. 2, In the Gut of the Wolf. The song sounds so brutal in terms of its text, and the song has got some pretty good heavy cleans on it, but I might say it might be my least favourite. I just find this one to kind of have the ambitious ideas, but then also kind of feels a little drowned out from everything else that we have here. It's definitely another really good addition to the record, but I just find it probably is the one I can point out as one of the, I guess, not disappointing, but just kind of I wish there was a bit more to it, but it's still got some crazy good ideas to it, and I think In the Gut of the Wolf is another solid song to the record. And finally we have Free, or I, Twilight in the Reflection of Dreams. Yeah, this one is a good way to end the record off. It's a very nice blend of the whole album sound as a whole. You'll take the kind of very beautiful atmosphere of it and then crush it with some very heavy djent riffs, and that's how ERRA I think flows. They just do a really good job piecing this all together. I honestly love how ambitious this one is, and I don't know if I've been overpraising it, but ERRA generally surprised me a lot more than they did with Cure. Cure was an album I thought, hey, that's pretty good, but it's not one that I think is generally one of their best. And as ERRA releases go, I think I've kind of dabbled between scoring it, because there's generally so much potential here, and it's generally one of ERRA's best albums to date. So I feel like I have to score this one just based on going back into it, how much it holds, and I think this is generally my favourite album of the year so far. Gonna give this one a 4.5 out of 5. I don't even regret the decision. I was dabbling between 4 or 4.5, because In the Gut of the Wolf generally made me think, I feel like it has more potential if it leaned further into some of the ideas, but as piecing it together, it is a pretty damn solid release, and it is so much better than what Cure gave us. And I hate to say it, it might arguably be one of my top ERRA records in general, up there with Self-Titled, as I do think Self-Titled has some great ideas, but this kind of is a feel that I think blends a bit more of an approachable sound while also mastering elements that ERRA's just been trying to perfect for a while. They had this album a lot quicker than any other release, as they've had quite a few years under their belt to have a gap every time, but they just pretty much just felt like Cure was alright, but they just kind of struck a lot more ambitious lightning in a bottle moments with this record. It's definitely a stronger release for sure, and honestly, this could be album of the year, so I gotta see what else tops it. Hope you all enjoy, thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video.